Hello class, how you doing? Dr. Yeager here. Um, just wanted to say hello, and I wanted to create this video that sort of gives everyone a heads up on how to start the class, our cartography and digital map making class, GEO 2850. There's been some confusion, and just want to explain the confusion. So as of right now, there are people taking the class who are taking it like a normal 16-week traditional face-to-face class. There are also people taking the class as a uh, self-paced class, meaning that they, when they have time, they can complete assignments, and then if they have to take a 2-week break, it's okay. Then they come back and do 3 assignments in 1 week, and so on and so forth. That's all well and good. It's just 2 different programs. It's the same class no matter how you're taking it. The problem comes into the fact that since we're doing this in an online mode, we have to use Canvas. And Canvas does not like self-paced classes. Canvas likes due dates and things to be available on one day and not available on the other day. And so that becomes a real problem with setting things up. And I'll be honest with you, I'm sort of learning how to do this as we go, constantly making changes to hopefully make the class a little more user-friendly and smooth, primarily for those self-paced students um, who are trying to tread these waters. Anyway, so this video is for what to do to get started in the class. So if you've already gotten started in the class, you of course can watch the video and probably get something out of it. But if you're already halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, you don't probably need to waste a whole lot of time on this. If you are just getting started or you haven't started yet, this video is for you. So I just want to show you how you can figure out what you're expected to do in this class. And so here's our Canvas page, and the smart thing to do in any class is to go to the syllabus, and if you click on here, you will find the generic course syllabus. So when I say generic, I don't mean it's like just generic. I mean this is the course syllabus for both modes. So if you're self-paced, this is our official syllabus. If you are traditional face-to-face or 16-week class, this is our syllabus too. Okay, so this is the syllabus for everyone. It tells you what kind of assignments we're going to have. It tells you that we're going to have a 100-point scale. It tells you about the book that the books that you'll need. It gives you a little bit of a description about each of the assignments that you'll need to do, and it gives you some policies about late and makeup work and things like that. So you'll have to sort of figure out how some of these things may or may not apply to you. For example, the late work. Well, in the self-paced class, there is no late work. There just isn't any because there are no due dates. The whole idea is that students work at their own pace. So that doesn't apply. So as you read through the syllabus, you will be able to determine if things apply to you and if they don't. Okay. For self-paced students, I made this special document, and I've made several of them over the course of the semester. I think this is the best one that I've made for you so far. This is where this document right here is going to show you your assignments for each I always want to say week, because in the 16-week course everything is broken down. We do this 1 week, we do this the next, and so you'll see things in here like one of your assignments is called a weekly write-up, and the weekly write-up is just a summary of your reading assignments for a given week. Well, that works in a traditional course, but for self-paced students that doesn't work, right? Because what one class does in a week, you may do in 2 days, or you may do in 3 days. So that's just something that we'll have to sort of work with as we go through the semester. Anyway, here is your reading and assignment schedule. We start at the top. First thing you should read is your class introduction. That's the first week of what we do in the regular classes. We just sort of get to know each other and read the course syllabus. Now the first actual reading assignment that you have goes along with task number 1, which we'll talk about in a minute, and the theme is human vision and perception. Your course reading assignments are chapter 1 in your Manson book, which is your online book, and chapters 1 and 2 in your Monmonier book. Okay, so those are your excuse me, your reading assignments. And you see over here task 1. Well, here you've got a task checklist. These are all the tasks that you'll have to do over the course of the semester. When I say task, I mean something is being turned in. Okay, so your task number 1 is your WRU number 1, which is weekly write-up. Again, it's just called a weekly write-up, even though you may turn in 2 in a week or something like that. And as you do these, you can check them off or scratch them off or however you want to do it. So for each week or for each task, you will go down this list of things right here. And as you do this, you will check off things over here. So the first one which we talked about, the first task is a weekly write-up that goes along with this human vision and perception theme and these reading assignments right here. Now that's not all there is to it, because there's also a module that goes along with these things. So if you click in modules, you can see each one is labeled the same way they were labeled back there on that reading assignment and task checklist document. Okay, so you can find it that way. You can also go and figure out that this is for week 2 if you're in the traditional class, but it's for task 1 if you are looking at it that way. So let me go back to that syllabus document real quick, and you can actually find all of those documents from the syllabus tab here in the module for that class introduction. So if we go back and look at that, we will see that it is this human vision and perception is the name of that task theme. Okay, if we go to modules, the module is named the same thing. Okay, so it's really easy to figure out which one it is. In the module, you will find several things. You will find there's a PowerPoint that I put in there that goes along with some of the themes in the course, that goes along with some of the readings. These are really, really helpful for you to have just as sort of scribble notes and things like that. There's not a lecture that goes along with these things, but if we were in class, like a traditional face-to-face class, these are some of the things we'd be lecturing about. Okay, so there are PowerPoints in there, there are videos in there. So these are lecture videos that I made for you. So that first task we talk about color blindness and how that impacts cartographers. So you want to make sure to watch those. There will also oftentimes be another reading assignment in here. Okay, so in this first week, this first task, there's a short little article that goes along and talks about color and the eye and vision and how all of these things impact us as cartographers and map makers. There are things that we need to be aware of. And then finally, in here, you will find a Dropbox for your weekly write-up. Okay, and so this is where you will upload your weekly write-up. Just you will upload a Word document or a PDF file or you know, any common sort of a thing. It's important that when you do these tasks, and let me go back up to here, when you do them in order. Okay, you don't want to just be you don't want to do this module here and then zip down here to module 7 just because it sounds neat and then go back up to number 2, and you don't want to do that. Trust me, there's a method to this madness. I know it may seem just like madness, but there's a method to it. You want to start at the top either of the reading assignment schedule or the task checklist, and then do task number 1, and then do task number 2, and then do task number 3. Okay, Only when you're done with task number 3 should you attempt the mini mapping assignment, which is your first, assignment that's not a short write-up. Okay, do these in order. Also, for self-paced students, I know that you may sort of get work done in kind of fits and starts, meaning you may get a couple things done here, and then you might not get anything done for a week, and then you might get another couple things done, and that's okay. That's the nature of the way the class is laid out. Here's the important thing. In the beginning, do me a favor and do yourself a favor, and don't submit everything up to your fundamentals exam in one day, or don't submit all your weekly write-ups in one day. And here's why. Because that would be a lot of work to submit in one day, and probably more than would even be remotely possible. But don't do something like that, because I want to be able to give you feedback. And let's say, for example, you or a student submitted weekly write-ups 1 through 7, and they skipped over their mapping assignments. They just did all of these write-ups, and they submitted them all in one day. Now, of course, it's possible that this student is a really good writer, and they really did all of the reading assignments, both the ones in Montmagny and Manson, and all the additional reading assignments, and they put their write-ups together just perfectly, exactly how I want them. Of course, that's possible, but it's also possible that maybe the student is not doing these write-ups the way that we should strive to have them done. Maybe they're not accurately summarizing the readings. Maybe they're not using examples that make these readings important to their future in the map making world. Maybe there are problems with those things, and if someone turns in one, just the first one, I can give them some feedback. I can say, hey, this is good, but you want to make sure to use examples from the real world, or examples that you've seen online, or examples that you've seen in social media, or this and that and the other thing. That's something that they can fix by the time they do weekly write-up number 2. So it's actually really common for the first weekly write-up, out of 3 points, people will get a 2.5 or something like that, because there's something that they need to fix and tweak for next time. Sometimes people will just turn in a really, really short weekly write-up, like a 1-paragraph little thing, and I will let them know that you need to go into more detail. You need to make sure that you're giving this your full effort. If someone turns in 7 of those at once, and there are problems like that with all 7 of them, you're going to get bad grades on all 7 of them, and you don't want that, and I don't want that, and that's kind of an unforced error. There's no need really to lose out on all those points. So my suggestion is if you are going self-paced, you turn in 1 assignment or 2 assignments. Wait until I give you a little bit of feedback before you continue on. And I'll do my best to always get feedback to you as quick as I can. It'll never take really more than a couple days, unless it's over a holiday or something like that. Then it will take until the end of the holiday. But you don't want to try to get so far ahead that you end up, shooting yourself in the foot. Also, particularly with these mini mapping exercises, there are extensive instructions. The instructions are very, very detailed. When you're doing these things, please, please, please make sure that you follow the directions. The biggest problem that people have with these is not that they're difficult. They're actually really, really simple, but they just require you to follow directions and then think about what you're learning. So this is a very different class than your other GIS classes. It's very much more conceptual and philosophical than just learning how to do a GIS program. So with that being said, the big takeaways from this are to go in order in the class, to make sure to do everything in the module, and to not get too far ahead that you don't get feedback from me. Okay, if you have any questions, I am here to help, and I encourage you to shoot me an email, and I will talk to you then, okay? All right, bye-bye.